The vast majority of men do prefer a woman without a
So
promiscuous past. There's been no man in history, Monique, that's thought to themselves, gee, I wish my wife had fucked 50 more guys before I married her.
just because you're not a virgin doesn't mean you're a whore.
I mean, a lot of the times that guys do things that women don't like that they call distasteful or toxic are usually just men that aren't really that interested in that woman. I think at the end of the day that if a woman finds a way to embed herself into his life, um, find ways to be useful in his life and be a complement to his life and be respectful, of course, he's going to have a hard time wanting to walk away from that woman.
100%. Yeah. If that woman truly brings him peace and does the things, you know, like that a woman should know how to do. I'm sorry, I'm a believer in that. Like, if you're a woman, you should know how to cook. Like, it's such a basic skill. You can get on YouTube and learn how to do it. Follow a recipe off of Google. It's not hard. You're just not putting
But I
in.
think something like only a third of women can like have any reasonable culinary skills. I think the vast majority of them are far better at ordering Uber Eats or heating up a TV dinner or something that's a lot simpler, and they don't want to learn,
Yeah,
the skill of cooking.
There's a lot of
Rich,
girls
you
like
need an
that.
Italian woman.
Yeah.
Do I?
I said you need an Italian woman. That's
Okay.
bullshit.
How do you know I don't have one?
I don't know anything about you. First of all, you, Spencer and Rich, you guys didn't share your age or your relationship status, and we had to share all that. So,
That's why the show's called Ladies Night.
oh, because it don't
I've
feel like
got
it.
I've got
But like
1,600
ladies
videos. You can
roast.
go watch a whole bunch of them.
It feels
The,
No,
like
we're not. Monique, I'm really not here to roast anybody. Trust me, I got a lot better things to do with my time. It's just that when you start barking at me and like marching on about your degree and acting like a fool, I'm going to call you out on it. And that's just the way it is.
well, when you're a misogynist, I'm gonna defend myself and come back with an argument. I'm
Can you
sorry.
define misogyny?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'll wait.
RichCooper.ca.
Oh, that's such a great explanation. Just exactly what I was expecting.
how is he a misogynist?
I'm keeping it light. I'm keeping it light. We don't let's not get dark and ugly here. We don't need to have
Well,
arguments.
often women will point at a man and say he's a misogynist, but they can't define misogyny. So can you define misogyny with your degree on the wall?
My degree is in medicine, not sociology, but my
Well, you're so
definition, the way
smart.
that
So what
you
is it?
felt that, the reason I felt that is because, as I said earlier, you can be too radical or too extreme in one way or the other, in black and white. And the way that you passionately discussed um, how it was a tradition for a woman to be a virgin, I felt that, in our current times, with our current ages, that something like that is very irrelevant and not really reflective of, um, you know, our societal and traditional values in the last like 500 years.
Is that
So
So
specifically because he used the word virgin? What if it was phrased as just lower body count?
so I
that's
guess
not
the
the same
question I have
thing,
is
but that's
is
still
why do
important.
people and
It's
you,
important.
Monique, get so upset when men state that they have a preference for a woman without a promiscuous past? Like, why is that so difficult for women to accept?
I don't think it's difficult, and I'm gonna just tell
Well,
you
you
right now.
called me a misogynist as a result of it.
Well, because I felt that you were overly forceful on the issue and overly
No, we
passionate
had the
about
other girl,
it.
Bianca. I think she was talking about traditional values and men being traditional in certain senses and regards. And I said to her, well, men would then expect women to be traditional sense that
Yeah,
they bring to the table what men value.
understandably so, but not all men share your values, and not all women share our values. Hence
Well,
why
the
we're
vast majority of
competing.
men do, actually. The vast majority of men do prefer a woman without a
So
promiscuous past. There's been no man in history, Monique, that's thought to themselves, gee, I wish my wife had fucked 50 more guys before I married her.
let me know when I can answer the question.
Go ahead.
So I feel that people want to feel chosen. They want to feel loved. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what generation, where you come from. You want to feel chosen. You want to feel loved. You want to feel accepted. And you need to have that sense of trust. I mean, the thing that separates us from animals is our emotion. And we have to feel socially accepted. We have to feel wanted. We have to feel needed and loved and all those things. And a big part of that, a big component of that is trust. And you don't want to have someone with a promiscuous past because there is a lack of trust, and the strong foundation and the strong reason behind that is what Miranda said earlier. Somebody who, has a lot of childhood traumas, a lot of, self-respect issues, and somebody who's been very promiscuous in the past is likely to continue that trend, in the future. Now, to argue and disagree with what you said, Rich, you can not be a virgin but also not be promiscuous. And that's the difference that I want to discuss. Just because you're not a virgin doesn't mean you're a whore. It's not black and white. There's a gray area. There are women who are your age, who can cook, who are educated, who are sensitive, who are loving, who are successful, who are good mothers, who are not whores, and they're also not virgins. So I just wanted to differentiate between the two extremes and say that, yes, men want traditional women who are loving, who are, let's use the term loyal, okay? Because I think the term loyal is more important and more prominent than the use of the word virginity, because we're all in our late 20s or 30s here. So I feel that loyalty is more important when speaking of like promiscuity and things like that. So everybody wants someone who's loyal, everyone who wants someone who's just going to love them and things like that. And, you know, at the end of the day, I feel like people are going to be where they want to be, and nothing's easy. We all come with our trauma. We all come with our issues. We all come with baggage. It's just a matter of being willing to work through that. And when I say I want a man and I appreciate a man who's emotional, I'm not saying I don't appreciate a man. I don't want a man who's going to be crying while I'm falling apart. I want a man who's going to be able to put me in my place when necessary, right? But I also want a man who's going to be able to step back and say, you know what? It's PMS week. My woman's emotional. She's off the tracks. Let me guide her a little bit. Let me be her rock. Let me step in and give her the emotional support and emotional validation that she needs. That's where emotionally secure and emotionally intelligent men are successful in relationships with a traditional feminine woman.
Yeah, we're asking for emotional intelligence, not emotionally softness. No softness. That's not what we're asking for. That's not what we're rooting for here.
What's the quick one sentence difference between emotional softness and emotional intelligence?
All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.